Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. So, I wanted to go live tonight and I'm doing a reaction video. I did post on my social media that I was not doing a Rise and Shine with Lacey Jeter show this morning. Decided to just do this video instead. So, we're doing a reaction to Charleston White's controversial interview he did. So, if y'all don't know who Charleston White is, he is definitely a well-known figure. He's always saying things that are kind of, I don't want to say Charleston White has always been one of those people. He's always gotten people's attention, but the things he says, he speaks a lot of truth. He spits a lot of facts. And then he also says a lot of things that actually does stir a lot of controversy as well. And so I came across this Charleston White interview, right? And I wanted to react to it because I wanted to know, how do y'all think about this? How would y'all think about this interview? I felt like there's things in the interview I agreed with, and then there are some things I did not agree with. Also, I try to keep this to being a very educational type of show. So I want this to be for educational purposes. Some of his language is a little bit out there. Like, he does say some curse words and stuff like that. So just for people who are very sensitive to stuff like that, that is a warning I am giving before I put the interview on. His language can be a little bit vulgar at times, but I felt like some of the things he was saying was pure facts. Like, he was very educational in the things he was saying. So for people who are very sensitive to cursing or sensitive to certain language or whatever, I just, try and look at it and try and see the bigger picture, or just try and see what the man is saying. I always like to say, when it comes to politics, I would say I like to look at both sides. And that's kind of how Charleston White is. Charleston White isn't necessarily considering himself a Republican, nor is he a Democrat, right? He's one of those people, he kind of sees kind of both sides for what it is. And I kind of am like that as well. I would say I'm kind of like that in regards, in a lot of ways. I'm very well, I try to have discernment. You know what I'm saying? I try and look and see the fallacies and the good in both parties, but like I said, he's not really right or left. He's just kind of giving, based on his personal experiences and based on being a black man, what he sees, his observations, right? And he did get a lot of heat for some of the things he said about Charlie Kirk. When Charlie Kirk first passed away, when he got killed, he was just saying he didn't have empathy for it. And like I said in my last live, I'm not trying to push a narrative that we should be happy about somebody's death. Obviously, that is not good that the man got shot, but we can also learn from this. I feel like Charlie Kirk is one of those people we can learn from. We can learn from him in the regards of like what we don't need to believe, what we don't need to think. Kind of showing us how people actually think and how people actually see us in America, right? So I'm about to react to this, y'all. This interview, it is long. It was 2 hours long. I'm gonna try and mainly watch the part that he was talking about, like Charlie Kirk and the politics. I'm gonna try and kind of probably fast forward some of it because he does talk a lot about his like personal experiences and whatever. But yeah, so let me pull this up, y'all. So this is the video, y'all. And I'm going to start playing it because we can just go on and get into everything. I don't want this to be too long because it's already kind of a lengthy interview. So, yes.
Charleston White.
Yeah. I'm starting to think that's my name.
We're back, man. For the first time, I really been worried about you, man.
And just to let you know, before I start this interview, yes, he is a country boy, y'all. He country, okay? He got his his accent. Again, we're not judging him. Like I said, I love me a country boy, but we're not judging him. He's still a very smart man. Like, some people are just very judgmental, you know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that, like, they judge a person's personality. Oh, if this person, like, has a country accent, or, this person not be sounding like, a politician, that they're not smart. No, this man was spitting facts, y'all. So I just wanted to also say that as well. So let me continue.
Oh, you have?
Since the Charlie Kirkland situation.
Oh, you worry about me and Charlie Kirk?
Well, this is the first time you made white people mad. And when you make white people mad, it's a totally different mad than black people mad.
Well, I done made them mad before. I just wasn't as big. I went against our local police department when Dacian Steptoe killed Officer Garrett Hull. Mm-hmm. So that was really my claim to fame to the internet. Is when I was on Facebook and I became frustrated from working in the community. Black people started making me feel like, man, you selling out, you pandering to the Republican Party. So, I was real big in the Tarrant County GOP Republican Party, as well as the RPT Republican Party of Texas, as well as the National Republican Party. So, I was a rock star amongst white people, and.
You're not gonna believe what happened. Tell me everything. I'll show you on Monday.com. So I started the biggest initiative of the quarter. I did everything right. I used AI blocks to list all the tasks.
I had started using the word online. So I was transitioning from being clean cut, bow tie, shirt tail tucked in, to start growing a fro, my dreads. So I started using the word because I saw how offensive it was. So
ER or
NA. The word to a lot of people there's no difference than ER or A. It's the term. So that's probably one of the most powerful words in the English dictionary. One of the most powerful offensive words in the English dictionary. So I use that word as a tool to make white people uncomfortable, to make black people uncomfortable. So it's a very uncomfortable word. So I started out squabbling with white people because this before the Black Lives Matter movement just really took off. I quit squabbling with white people because niggas wasn't ready to die. Every police shooting, homie, I never seen a group of niggas that was ready to die. I noticed that we don't have no crash outs. The little white kid that killed Charlie Kirk, he a YN, but he a white YN. That's they crash out. The 19-year-old Dylan Roof, they got crash outs. So if you look at all the most recent mass shootings in the last 2 years, it's been young white boys who know how to operate guns to go kill people. So I said, man, I quit squabbling with white people, and here's why. Because when Dacian Steptoe killed Officer Garrett Hull, they executed him on the spot. So they hunted him all day long. He had been committing robberies. He had been robbing Mexican bars. And I was partnering with Fort Worth Police Department at the time with this new federal national initiative that they had that was called a 21st century community policing. So they were doing a national initiative with this term called procedural justice, and procedural justice was supposed to make cops more empathetic, more sensitive to the struggles in the history of black people in our relationship. Well, the Fort Worth Police Department, obviously this is something officers had a pushback, and then the black community didn't want to get involved in it. So they used me to be a spearhead. So I bought into it, I believed in it. So during this time, Dacian Steptoe kills Officer Garrett Hull. They should have been arrested him, but they already had a warrant for him. So they followed him around all day long. Let me speed this story up. They followed him around all day long, watched him go into a bar, had undercover officers in the bar, and when they came in to rob, they put everybody's life in jeopardy rather than stopping them and going to the bar. So they allowed them to go into the bar, freeze, everybody get down. And then the police, freeze, it's the police. So Dacian ran out. Officer Garrett Hull chased him. In the process, he fired one shot and killed Officer Garrett Hull. So you got to think, I got homie at this time. I'm good friends with the the president of the Fort Worth Police Officers Association, Rick Van Houten, Deputy Chief Ty Harris, Deputy Dean. I'm cool with Chief Joel Fitzgerald. So I'm having regular meetings with these top-ranking brass. So when this happened, I couldn't believe that the police would execute him and not bring him to justice. They killed him on the spot. So they didn't put him in handcuffs. They shot him in the foot. He had literature marks where they choked him. He was a little skinny nigga like me. They broke his arm in two, and they shot him in the chest because Officer Garrett Hull was their sergeant. He was the leader of the SWAT team, and they called him Rambo. He had spent 3 tours in Iraq, so he was a bad man in law enforcement world. So for Dacian to kill him, that was a blow to the SWAT team. So yeah, they killed Dacian. So I get a call from Dacian's stepdad, who's a good friend of mine, a guy by the name of Supreme. And they tell me what happened. They wouldn't let the mother or the father see the body. So I realized if you make the police mad, you kill a cop, kind of like what's going on now, you really don't have no rights. So rather than me continuing to align myself with the police because they wrong in this situation, I align myself with the family. When they had Officer Garrett Hull's funeral here in Fort Worth, Texas, tens of thousands of law enforcement from all over the country came here, but they was also threatening the family. The law enforcement, police like a gang, homie. You do something to him.
The biggest gang.
Yeah, so they was threatening the family. They threatened all the black preachers, and they wouldn't have, most people don't know the civil rights movement didn't come to Fort Worth, Texas. It came to Dallas. Dr. King had to sneak and come to Fort Worth. He couldn't openly come. So the Fort Worth, Texas have never had a black civil rights movement. So the black people there are very subservient. They've never bucked white people in Fort Worth, other than a few street guys. So I started bucking. I started bucking, and I started going online promoting cop killing. But let me just say this. I had got into it with police during a city council meeting a week or 2 weeks before Officer Garrett Hull got killed. And I made a post online that I said, I pray in the name of Jesus that a Fort Worth police officer dies in the line of duty. And then I said, and then it was a councilwoman at the name by the name of Gina Bivens. I also made a public prayer in the name of Jesus that councilwoman Gina Bivens have a heart attack. Both of those happened within 2 weeks.
Wow. Is this the viral when you're in the?
Just the time I was going to the city council with nigga on my shirt, hollering about I wish we can rape white women. So homie, I had already been bucking white people, but they know me. So it's like the straight A student all of a sudden just turned gangster and they said, man, something happened to Charleston. So nigga, I'm bucking white people in a way.
When you said those two things and they happened, did people, I mean.
Yeah. So let me tell you what happened. So when that happened, homie,
we have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is Base 44.
I started calling downtown I wasn't making threats, but I was saying, I called and told David Cook, who was the city manager of the city at the time, that I hope his daughter grow up and marry a well-hung black man who beat on her and have anal sex with her rough and real hard after you kick her ass and make her like it and lick her tears. So I was just calling down there because this is what I understand. My mouth is deadly. My words hurt just like punches. Nigga, I have a way of articulating words and delivering words to make you feel like I hit you. And it'll activate those kind of emotions. So I know that. I know that's a strength that I have in speech delivery. So I know how to use words as weapons. And it make other people respond to want to hurt me. So I'm calling downtown doing this. So then I'm going online, marking the death of Officer Garrett Hull. I'm marking his wife, his widow, his 2 children. So I'm doing just what I did to Charlie Kirk, but I did this to law enforcement. Just what I'm doing to Charlie Kirk, just what I did to King Von, Gilly Kid's son, I did the same thing to the Fort Worth Police Department. So they
Cop was white?
Who?
The police officer was white?
Yeah, he was white, and he was killed by a black kid. Yeah, a gangster. Yeah, now he was a gangster. See, he went across the railroad tracks and was robbing Mexicans, the immigrants that can't call the police. So one day I get kidnapped by the police, and I call it kidnap because I got pulled. They watched me all day long. So up until that day, because of the rhetoric that I was using on social media and on Facebook and coming downtown with that same rhetoric, I was under constant surveillance from law enforcement because of my rhetoric had went from talking President Trump to nigger, kill white folks, rape white women, shoot white babies. They need to shoot. So homie, I started praising school shootings. I started going downtown, yelling out during lunch hour that Timothy McVeigh is my hero, that I can't wait till we start raping white women. So you even hear me say that to our mayor, say I came down here to do that because that's a form of fighting back. It's called uncivil disobedience. You can have civil disobedience, but I'm being uncivil, but I'm not breaking any laws because I'm not threatening. Yeah, cussing is a disorderly conduct. So my rhetoric had changed, homie. So they put me under surveillance, sat on me all day long. I was sitting at the classy lady, decided to leave one day, and when I look up, I got a bunch of cars following me. So I make a right going toward Ramey. I get pulled over by undercover cars, the police. Now normally I could jump out the car and be like, man, what y'all pulled me over for? And at this time I was driving a 300 Chrysler, the 300 Chrysler M before they turned it into the Bentley style. So I had that Dodge Intrepid looking motherfucker, but it was like the Dukes of Hazzard. I had to reach outside the door to open the car door, but the windows didn't let down. So I had to open the car door and say, hey man, free, get back in the car. Nigga, this is something different, because they had never treated me like that before. So when they put me in the car, they said I was being arrested for a broken tail light. And I ain't gonna say his name, but one of the MPOs said, Charleston, you must have pissed somebody high up off. I said, man, you already know they are. So they took me to jail. And I called Lisa Pamplin, who's a very well-known attorney in the city. Hey, Lisa, man, I just got arrested. She said, for what, Blue? Because they called me Blue. I said, a broken tail light. She said, what? Her what alarmed me. She said, what? I said, yeah, man, a broken tail light. She said, man, don't say shit. I'm on my way. So this is where at times I talk too much. Before we hung up, I said, say, Lisa, whatever you do, don't let these motherfuckers Sandra Bland me. So about 30 minutes later, the arresting officers, they all come back. But I've been in the holding tank for an hour or two. So when they come from the back, I'm saying, man, what these motherfuckers doing still here? But they got a stack of paperwork. They done went and got all my social media posts. Where nigga, we keep bragging about killing white men, kill police officers. They went and got all them social media posts. And they came to the door and said, come on, Charleston, let's go. I said, go where? The exact words, we transferred you to the mental asylum. And he had a smirk on his face. I said, man, you know I'm an arrogant nigga. Yeah, I'm a very egotistical nigga. So I walked out that motherfucker, man, y'all finna lose y'all motherfucking job. Y'all done fucked up. But before he transferred, before he said I was being transferred, he said I was being transferred under a Senate bill. And at the time, Sandra Bland had just died. So this is what most people don't know. They got a Sandra Bland Act.
I thought I knew what therapy was until I found the right therapist. And let me tell you, game changer. You see,
and it was called SB Senate Bill something, but I had never heard it before. So the Sandra Bland Act in the state of Texas, because she had a smart mouth, and they took her to jail, and she hung herself, as they say. So now the Sandra Bland Act gives the police power to take you to the hospital if he deemed necessary. So let me tell you the difference. You would much rather go to jail than the hospital, because the hospital you can be kept forever. You don't have no due process. So that's why our government is pushing mental health. That's why if the police come and you got a smart enough mouth, that's how they make you disappear. So they knew that, right? But none of us know about the Sandra Bland Act because it had just got passed. So black people was clapping for this act. So if they would have took Sandra Bland to a hospital, we would have never heard of her again because it's called a civil commitment. They started practicing and doing this with child molestation. See, they start using unjust laws on people who they think is deemed less than worthy of themselves, right? Black people. So they try this out on us first. So they started using civil commitments on child molesters who they think would get out and probably do it again. So they would be sentenced to 15 years. When it's time for them to come home in 15 years, they would send them to a civil court, and the court would say, man, we think you go again. You can't never be free. So they put you into a civil commitment. They can do that to the average human, but we don't know that, the average American. So our due process rights are taken. So I go to jail. From jail, you can look me up. Okay, we see he in jail. From jail to the mental hospital, you disappear. Because under the HIPAA laws, they can't release your medical information. So your family called and said, man, we can't find him. We don't know where he is. Ma'am, we don't know what you're talking about. We looked at all the jail. If you can't never make the call, but by the time you make the call, they done shot you up with drugs. You don't see a judge. So no one is saying, hey, you can go get on the phone and call somebody. You don't have to ask to use the phone. It's girls and men and women. So it's like you and your neighbors in there. So when Lisa say don't say nothing, I don't say nothing. So under the Sandra Bland Act, I was transferred to a mental asylum for making threats against the police. And I was ready to go to war. But where I at home, I had been going to the gun range all that week. And I was going live showing how I've been practicing on my long range distance shooting. Yeah, but I'm just bullshitting, you know. And so when I get pulled over, I got over 300 rounds of ammunition. I got all kind of black liberation gun manuals. I got a whole bunch of shit. I'm looking like a domestic terrorist. Plus the shit I've been saying. So yeah. So the night of Officer Garrett Hull's funeral, I held security at the mother's house because the police were riding by there intimidating them. So homie, police some dirty motherfuckers, the bad ones, not the good ones, but you do some one of them, homie, they turn into a vengeful gang. And they torment your family, everybody. So every black preacher in the city was afraid to have the funeral. Well, I done got into it with every black preacher in the city. Nigga, man, Dr. Bell, man, I done got into it with every black preacher. So let me just say this. Nothing can happen to a black person in the black community without the white people first going to their religious leaders. The black people give the okay for us to be killed. The black people have to give the head nod for Malcolm. It's a black person, someone in the planning of this, and even with Malcolm. So at one point in time, all the black preachers, because I had become so polarizing amongst white people, all the black preachers in Fort Worth said, man, they got together and they told an elder guy by the name of Eddie Griffin, man, what we gonna do about this young brother Charleston White? Well, at the time, Eddie Griffin was my mentor. They wanted me to get away from Pops, because Pops a street nigga. So Eddie Griffin said, oh man, don't worry about Charleston, I got him. Once I couldn't be controlled, the police came to me one time and said, Charleston, what's your relationship with Pops? Why you so homie? They wanted me to get away from that old man because of the knowledge that he would feed me. Not that my love for white people was changing. I was starting to learn how to love us because of that old showed me how to love us. So I started saying, so they sent Deputy Chief Dean, they sent Sheriff Bill Wayburn. Sheriff Bill Wayburn came to me while at a function with Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. So I had some very influential white people and I remember the old told me, homie, he said, the worst thing you can do, homie, is for white folks to know your name as a black man. You don't want white people to know your name. So he said, yeah, white people know your name. So when I do this, I hold security for the family by myself. No Muslim would do it, no Crip and Blood. So this when I realized it was cowards. Farrakhan, the Crips, the Bloods, the RBG, nobody wanted to stand against the police, homie. So I bagged my little old car up in the driveway with my guns. I smoked weed all night long. It was an RBG there drinking with no gun, playing like he tough. I held security so this family can get some rest, this mother. And that's when I disappeared after that. So I done stood 10 toes down.
Wait, you never explained how you got out the mental hospital.
I'm finna tell you. So I stood 10 toes down with white people. So
if you don't understand the rules of power, you will certainly lose to someone who does.
The first nurse that I seen, she was a black African lady. And she knew I wasn't homicidal, she knew I wasn't suicidal. She just online showing his ass. But nigga, this is done by your government. This is higher up saying, do this. So she says, yeah, let me call your mother, make sure you don't harm yourself. So she recommended I go home. The black doctor, cause they gonna have a white boy do it. So the black doctor said, no, I think you may try to hurt a politician. Well, why ain't I charged? Why ain't I charged then? Because y'all like to give a nigga criminal record. Well, the mental health strips me of my guns. The mental health strips me of my guns, right? If they can get the mental health tag on me. But they can't mental health me. I have no history. So they keep me. They transfer me to JPS. I never see a real doctor. This one I knew this shit is a game. For one, I got Medicare, Medicaid. If I didn't have Medicare, Medicaid, they wouldn't have done that. Because who's gonna foot the bill? You see what I'm saying? Number two, they want to abruptly snatch me off the streets to see what kind of drugs is in a nigga system. Cause that's one of the first things you do is take you.
Okay, so you took a blood test.
You're not going past intake if you don't take a blood test. You'll never get out if you don't do that. So in the process of intake, I'm looking at niggas as employees. The niggas who work there are saying, say, homie, what's up? Nigga, I don't supposed to be here because everybody know me in this city. And everybody looking like, man, they fucking over you, nigga. But they can't say it because they got to keep their job. So I go act like I'm on the phone, say, man, nigga, how you get out of here? Shit, nigga, you got to take the medicine. Take what medicine? Nigga, ain't nobody told me I got to take no motherfucking medicine. Shit, the doctor. What doctor? Man, I ain't seen no doctor. White. Medication. What medication? That doctor didn't say I had to take no medication. Mood stabilizer. What you mean a mood stabilizer? You seem like you upset. I'm being held without my will. So they got all kind of ways to play on you. So first night, I'm considered high risk because I'm asking questions like, man, do we get to go outside? So now they saying, oh, he gonna try to escape. So they put me where the craziest of the crazy motherfuckers. Where you look at the motherfuckers and say, man, what time is it? I don't wanna go. I don't wanna go. And say, nigga, hey, man, goddamn work. So nigga, this nigga in the twilight zone. Trying to break a nigga mind, homie. They trying to break a nigga. So my mama said, son, I don't know what you done to get yourself out of it. Whatever you done, you gotta get yourself out of there. So I'm thinking, I done grew up in the boys' home. I'm a state baby. This the same system. Play the system. So I started working the groups. Man, I'm having problems. Yeah, homie, and I never saw a doctor. I never saw a doctor, but they were giving me drugs day one. And if you refuse the drug, they shoot you with them. The drugs is like, it arrests your mind, your soul, and your emotions. It takes your mind, your soul, and your emotion, and it puts it in a closet somewhere in your body, and you're just there as a shell. And people there talking to you saying, yeah. But the real you say, man, I'm on this medicine. Hey, man, no, this ain't me. But you saying, yeah. So nigga, time they give you a lawyer, but by the time you see your lawyer, yeah. Nigga, you on medication. How else you get out of here? Take the medicine.
Always wanted to do something in engineering. Wanted to be the one that helped design and make the solution.
ECPI University, engineering technology.
It's a money game, homie. So I refused the medicine at first because I'm saying, what's the side effects? They said, well, no side effect. I'm telling this nurse who's trying to give me medication, everything got a side effect. You don't even know what you're signing. You just signing. So I never got diagnosed. So this one I knew it was full of shit. I said, they just trying to break it. I never seen a doctor. I kept seeing student doctors. Coming from college, student doctors. So after 7 days, an attorney finally come, because now they want to take you before a judge. But what else do they have to take me for a judge other than this internet character? So they released me. I never seen a judge. I never seen a real doctor.
Never took the medicine.
I had to take the medicine.
Oh, man.
You got, listen, before your lawyer show up, you're already full of medicine. You won't go nowhere if you don't take the medicine, because they can't get their money if you don't take the medicine. And the medicine is to get you hooked, to keep on taking the medicine. So what they do is they make a referral. Now, if you go with that referral, they got your ass once you get out. So by the time I see the doctor, I'm 7 days in. Yeah. Now, you know how much money they probably made after 7 days? Oh, okay, we can release him. I never seen a judge. So the medical record says that I was deemed homicidal and suicidal by ideation and preparation. Homicidal and suicidal by ideation and preparation. So every time I get pulled over by law enforcement, they say I want to be killed by a cop. They draw down on me. I never have a regular because I'm deemed as a and I got a lot of guns.
So that's on your record?
That's on my medical record.
Wow.
So can't no regular police deal with me regularly. When my name is red.
They got a call for back.
Yeah. Because they say I'm homicidal. But this is where they fucked up at. With marijuana psychosis, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as marijuana psychosis. So that's how I can still go purchase guns, because it's bullshit.
I was about to ask you about the guns.
It's bullshit. There's no such thing. Yeah, I'm homicidal and suicidal. At the time, I was ready to die. When I realized I was in jail on the first day, you couldn't have made me believe it wasn't gonna be a bunch of black people out there.
All right, y'all. As y'all can tell, this is, like I said, it is a long interview at 26 minutes and 7 seconds. So this man has, if y'all don't know, this man has a lot of controversial opinions. He has done lots of controversial things, right? You know, with him, like I said, him dealing with the Republican Party, you know, with him dealing, you know, with the other side and everything, right? So this man has definitely been through a lot, right? Like I said, with this interview, I feel like there's gems within it, but there's also aspects of it where, like, he's talking heavy about his personal experiences as a black man, where he has been, you know, he's been into a mental asylum. And a lot of people were actually comparing his experience to Wendy Williams and a lot of these celebrities who get under, you know, under the control of what is it called when the celebrities no longer have control of their finances, or they no longer have control of their ownership. I think Britney Spears was under it. Wendy Williams, what is it called, y'all? I forgot the name of it. But people were making his situation kind of like, that sounds like what happened. A lot of these celebrities, they don't be mentally ill. Nothing be wrong with them. You know what I'm saying? But like, when they go into these mental hospitals, and when they're dealing with people who want to take advantage of their money, they have no choice but to follow what these people have to say. So get drugs pumped into their systems and everything, right? So yeah, but that I just wanted to mention that. I've kind of been quiet the whole most of the interview so far, just because I want us to get through it. But starting at around 28 minutes and something, that's when he's going to really start talking about politics, and that's when he's going to start really dropping the gems the most, y'all. So just hang in there with me, y'all. So I'm about to play it again. I might even rewind it, fast forward. I'm sorry, not rewind, fast forward it It's about 28 minutes. I'm about to do that, y'all. Y'all can see it.
I represent clients charged with all different types of
No!
crimes. When you're a defense attorney, your focus as it
and dandy when they had the Uvalde school shooting. I made mockery of the Uvalde Mexican babies getting killed. It was funny when I made the Houston news talking about raping Asian babies. It was funny when I was talking about the Jews and Aiden Ross' sister. Now it's on y'all. And y'all used to love me.
I'm going to say one more thing, y'all. And also, like, he does mention the R word quite a lot. So I do want to apologize for people who are sensitive to that. Like I said, before I even did this reaction, I gave kind of that disclaimer. Yes, he does do a lot of vulgar language, right? So I apologize if with him saying the R word is a trigger for anybody. I should have had like a trigger warning text or picture before I even started this, but yeah.
My tickets, but now it's on y'all. I told y'all I don't like nobody. I like white pussy. I don't like white people. I like Chick-fil-A. I like the Constitution. White folks just happen to be in the way of that. But shooting up schools, say we got a bunch of white kids and they babies, we lead the nation in child pedophilia and molestation of children. Hey, man, we need that Epstein list out. They say the president's name is on that list. He ain't doing that to his people. He was a talking point who spread a lot of misinformation, almost the borderline of lying. The statistic that he was using was false. Black people don't commit 50% of the murders in this country. We commit 50% of black murders, which is a small fraction compared to the Mexicans, the whites, the immigrants. So then, homie, he challenging children. I'm challenging adults. So we are not the same. He wasn't putting his life on the line because he was talking just about black people. He never talked about nobody else as if black people are America's problem. So that's my problem with that shit. Hell, he ain't know me. I stand up to the gangbangers, the killers. I pick on the bullies of the race. He picked on the weakest of the race, the small, undeveloped brains of our children on the college level, on the entry college level.
Y'all had a lot of the same points, though.
Okay, so he kind of was talking about Charlie just then, and I think he was trying to like debunk what people were trying to say about him, because people were actually trying to compare Charleston White to Charlie Kirk. They were trying to say that they have the same points or whatever, and pretty much what he was saying was that it's not the same. Him and Charlie are not the same because Charleston himself challenges the black community, right? Which I think there is nothing wrong with if you're a black person, making other black people accountable. But there's always a way of how you do it, though. You have to do it in a certain way, though. But Charleston was just saying that, where he was saying Charlie Kirk did not challenge his people, right? Charlie Kirk mainly challenged college students or young people, right? And he never challenged his people. You know what I'm saying? So that's what he was saying the difference was. But I'm going to go on and continue.
No, he didn't. He was lying. He said Dr. King was a horrible man. I didn't say he was a horrible man. I say he was a whoremongering preacher. I don't make him a horrible man. Donald Trump is a whoremonger. He ain't never called him a horrible man. Donald Trump got rape allegations. Bill Clinton, rape allegations. The prince over there in rape allegation, the Jew, rape allegation. So you never heard him call anybody a horrible man, but he won't say Dr. King is a horrible man. He's a lying motherfucker. Dr. King talk peace. So Yeah, man. So no. So we've never said.
I think with slavery, y'all both. He mentioned something about slavery.
He
you
said,
say all you say it all the time.
He said we was better off with slavery.
Yeah, you say that too.
He said we were better off than we are today. He a lying motherfucker. We got rights today. We were better off together. But my rhetoric and his rhetoric do not align. We were not better off as slaves when a white man can rape a black woman and be excused.
But in past interviews, you did say slavery needs to come back when it's out of control. You haven't said that a few times.
No. He's not advocating for slavery to come back. He's advocating that we were better off as black people as slaves.
Okay.
I'm saying we need these conditions to strengthen us as black people again. We wasn't better off, we were just stronger. We wasn't better off when we can be hung up on a tree and captured when they said we was free and the other slave masters said, no, that's still my proof. We wasn't better off. We didn't have more.
Did you know Charlie Kirk before he died?
No.
I seen him debate a few times, but I
want to say, me and him was on a segment together on Alex Stein's show, on Prime Stein with Alex Stein. So I want to say we had a brief segment, but him and Alex Stein is real good friends. So, but I never heard of him, never knew anything about him, never seen a video before he died or nothing. So I'm saying, why would we be affected by a white boy getting killed by a white boy? Why would that bother black people? It don't matter. We don't cheer it on or nothing because his rhetoric don't reach my ears. He's never came across my algorithm. You know why? He arguing with college students that don't know a motherfucking thing. He couldn't have debated me. He couldn't have debated me. One of the biggest lies I heard him say is that Trayvon Martin hunted George Zimmerman in the middle of the night. Then another thing I heard him say that black women can't think. Black women, he can't think. But then he says, if he saw a black pilot, he wondered if he's qualified.
Yeah, I see.
When I see a black pilot, I say, white folk let you get this job? For him to even be at the door to get the job, he got to be qualified. It's certain tests you got to pass. So yeah, they pick you on your color, but your color don't get you in the door. Your test scores do. So nigga, they trying to make it seem like black people ain't worked to accomplish what we done accomplished. And they forget they ain't built shit. So when I heard Charlie Kirk talking, all I heard him talk about is negative rhetoric, negative points, negative statistics about black people. What about the statistic that today's black fathers are more involved in their children's life than any other ethnicity? So why he's saying, well, single mothers now, you must forgot Southern strategy. Let's tell the whole story. We've been duped and tricked. We have never had a fair shot. You talking about redlining.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Jim Crow laws. So homie, he acting like the playing field been even amongst black people and white people. But I'm telling Kirk and all this people, black people are not y'all problem. We're not building missiles like North Korea and shooting them to the shores of Canada. We didn't take your planes and run them into the building. We ain't done none of that. All the crime that white people is complaining about is black on black. There's not a high black on white crime rate. I wish it was, because when I was a kid, every crime I committed, where the camera is? As a kid, every crime I committed was against white people because I had black older people telling me, you go across the railroad tracks. The 10 Commandments is for your people. It ain't for nobody else. Thou should not kill his own kind. Thou should not steal from his own kind. But you can go over there and steal. You can steal from white people if you black. You can rob white people if you black. They've been robbing us because we black. So they want to try to make it color don't matter to us. Color matter to them about everything. That's why they put race in place. When race don't matter to nobody but Americans. They play race with us. It's white nationality that they embrace. They white nationalist ideologies. That's why you hear that governor of Utah say, we was hoping it was somebody else because they really want to hate. When I saw that, When I first saw Charlie Kirk get killed, and I didn't see it, I just heard about it. I don't watch white people. I don't watch nothing white people talk about, especially politics. That's the biggest con game sham. I'm playing con, homie. I'm not a Republican. I'm a smart man. I'm not a Democrat. I don't give a fuck about being Republican or Democrat. I'm playing on both parties because both parties is dumb. All you got to know is some basic information about history and the Constitution, and you can play both sides. Because both sides are one and the same, a group of hateful old white people that are living in white fear because they know they done everybody wrong. And their greatest nightmare is one day somebody sits over them. They're losing their country and they blaming they. We ain't sent 9 grams of fentanyl across the borders that's destroying they white kids that's overdosing on fentanyl and opioids.
That's true.
We ain't sent now motherfucking me coronavirus disease over here to cause a wipe out of sickness. Homie, but they blaming they as if the crime bothered them. Our crime do not affect white people. You know why? Because they got the prison on the stock exchange. So it ain't costing nobody no money to lock it up. They making money off locking up. There go your free labor. So they complain about crime. They need this crime to keep black slaves. That's why even if we never commit a crime, before you're born in America as a black person, you're already a criminal. You know why? Because we can line up 50 black women. How many black women are having boys? They raise their hand. Okay, all black women line up over here. We go 1, 2, 3. One of y'all boys are going to prison before they're even born. Well, who's saying that? America. Because America has a booming prison industry. And they need this prison industry. Not only that, it strips these black people of the rights we once gave them because we still need slaves for free labor. So this crime don't affect us. And it don't affect white people while you're using it as talking points. How many black women having babies? 1, 2, 3. One of y'all going to prison. You know why? Because the American statistic says 1 in every 3 black males will go to prison or be on some form of community supervision in their lifetime. It don't say maybe, it don't say well, but it says 1 in 3 will go. So who makes this shit up? We can go look at black babies. 1, 2, 3. Boy, one of these nigga babies going to prison, and there's nothing nobody can do about it. Nigga, they put this in place for this race. Prison was not put in place for nobody else, but specifically this race. Yeah, we'll put others in there, but the majority is for these people. These people pose the greatest threats to us because they might want retribution one day because we ain't never been fair to them. We ain't never been fair to them. So we got to make sure they stay where they are because our greatest fear is they get over us one day. Do you see how they do each other when they're fighting each other? Do you see some of these snippets when the 20 black guys jump on one white boy? Homie, that's their greatest fear, that it's going to be like that everywhere for them. Mm. So they make sure they put things in place years in advance because what they said was, we must do this now for future generations may not understand. The future white people is going to be way more compassionate than these people. So they're putting things in place now that their children can't even undo because they like their slaves. Mm-hmm. They know their kids grow up and like Jim. And Jim, when I grow up and I'm slave master, I'm going to let you free, Jim. Even the kids had empathy. That's why they love us today. That's why they needed a Charlie Kirk. Homie, Charlie Kirk was a puppet for white supremacy and white racist hate in the name of, I invite you to the table.
So you're telling me that it's not healthy to obsess over your partner 24/7 like I do? What you've described there is often associated.
But I get to edit the talking points. I invite you to the table, but I'm targeting the younger minds. It's no different than the LGBT that puts things in Disney channels. Because whenever they want to build prisons, what they do is they target 3rd grade literacy tests. Who can read in the 3rd grade? Okay, we're going to build 2,000 more prisons based on these reading statistics. Because these motherfuckers going to prison. Homie, so they're targeting our children. So what did Kirk do? Because you had Glenn Beck, you had Rush Limbaugh, you had Bill O'Reilly. They could not connect with the young people the way Obama did with white young people. Mitt Romney couldn't do it. Donald Trump really couldn't do it. So they needed a figure, a young figurehead. They tried to get Aiden Ross. Aiden Ross' group is too young. That's why he got to interview the president. They needed somebody who didn't embrace the way Aiden and them did. They needed somebody that could whitewash, that could be a great white hope, that seemed like a perfect symbol. They found Charlie. Charlie liked it, he just don't love the culture. He's not indoctrinated into the culture. He has a lot of black friends. He has a lot of compassion. He's not a racist. He's a good speaker like Dr. King. He's their Dr. King. Dr. King, what they wanted him, they made him that. He was just a charismatic leader that can speak, just like Charlie. Dr. King and Charlie are political puppets and tools. They both was assassinated because they changed their talking points. Dr. King was never about integration. That's what white folks wanted, to cripple blacks' economy. Integration strips black people of everything. The fight was always about equal rights and equal protection, something we still don't have, equal rights and equal protection. They can make mockery of George Floyd. We can't make mockery of nobody. We lose our jobs. They can do the Eric Garner challenge. I can't breathe. They go viral as a police department and never lose a job. They say, hey, let's do the Trayvon Martin Skittle challenge. They lay down with the Skittles. So they can do all of this, homie, challenges. And there's no repercussions and backlash. But it is for us, for anybody that speaks against their Savior. So they've made him a God. They've made him almost like Jesus. They say he got a steel neck, that the bullet, his neck wasn't steel enough to stop the bullet. He wasn't that good where God didn't allow him to die. He was just a mortal man with flaws and sins, just like every other man. He wasn't no different, just like Dr. King.
When he died, people celebrated.
Good. They celebrated when George Floyd died.
Yeah.
White people celebrated George Floyd. I didn't celebrate because he don't mean nothing to me. My focus is on, just why you hear people say, man, he don't never talk about white people. Why? White people ain't bothering us. I had to tell it today on a live, homie, there's been 2 black boys found hanging. Why me and you on here talking with nappy hair about this white man and he was killed by a white man? Why? So Charlie Kirk was given a few $1 million from an old white man to go out into America and win the hearts of young Americans for this Trump election. That's why you're hearing him saying his voice will echo for future generations. They needed a great white hope. Too many of their great white hopes was dancing the tune and the sounds of their niggas. They last great white hopes, other than the old ones like Rush Limbaugh, Bill O'Reilly, so they couldn't use them, homie. That's why you don't see them on Fox News. They went and got Charlie Kirk. They went and got Aiden Ross. They got Alex Stein, and they use these non-racist, non-hateful-hearted Caucasian guys in the name of standing in Christianity, but they even hung us in the name of Christianity.
You said if he would have went to a HBCU, it wouldn't have happened.
He'll still be alive.
Explain
they just would have
that.
recorded him. You see, I went to a HBCU. They just wanted to record me and ask me a bunch of questions.
You still stormed off, but
because, homie, my time is valuable. I just left a high school that has a resource center with canned goods, clothes. So I'm talking about, let's partner over here. Man, let me bring Aiden Ross in here to school. Man, let's build this resource club, man. So who do I give money to? So this is what I'm on. I'm coming over here knowing the HBCU struggling. Man, who can we help? Who can we help? They want to debate snitching. I stayed an extra day with a pocket full of money. Started threatening these street to call the police on them, that I really started getting community help. I'm gonna start, so street saying, man, that nigga really do be doing it. And I ain't taking the money. So for me to have to be making money now, Me and my kids living a life we ain't never dreamed of. Why would I go back to helping black people, homie, when to help black people don't help you and your family?
What type of white threats have you been getting over the last week? Have you been getting? I know shows have been canceled.
Yeah.
But like, what is the white? How are white people treating you right now?
In person, lovely. Online, I don't know. Because I'm so trending right now, it's so many messages. I just see what's in the comment section. You're gonna get Charlie Kirk. So, how many different people don't realize, I ain't afraid to die. Because I ask people, who tricked us into believing that death is a bad thing and everything has to die? Every flower, every roach, everything has to die. So if the good people have to die, the bad. So who say death is a bad thing and why should you be afraid of it? And we all have to walk that journey. So I don't let nobody trick me to make me think death is being a bad thing. I don't want to die and have to live. I want to live. So I wake up every day to live. I don't worry about dying from death. I can't stop it. And when I'm dead, I don't know I'm dead. So who gives a Oh, we go laugh when you die. So I ain't gonna know. And then my kids just go cry till the insurance policy kick in. They realize daddy done left them. Man, they go, them motherfuckers ain't gonna last long. Now them hoes might be mad, but nigga, I'm gonna have them in position where they ain't gonna cry. So now, everybody go be in position. So now, I didn't celebrate it one way or another because I wasn't in tune with him. So when I heard it, Aiden Ross had called me and said, hey, Charleston, what you think about it? I said, man, that's fucked up. They'll kill the dude. Because he said, yeah, the same people that's laughing and celebrating him will laugh and celebrate me and your death. So, nigga, shit don't bother me. Nigga, I celebrate people's death. Who told you celebrating somebody's death is wrong when y'all celebrate the dead for Halloween? Even your Christian Bible tells you let the dead bury the dead. Don't celebrate the dead. Don't honor the dead. Love thy neighbor. Honor thy mother and my. So how can y'all do all this shit for the dead and worship the dead? Make idols. We're going to do These are Christian people doing this. And the Bible totally speaks of that, speaks against that. So these aren't real Christians. That's why they want to embrace hate in their heart. So initially, just like with Gilly the Kid, I showed empathy for Charlie Kirk. But boy, just as soon as I saw the next day that white people and media outlets were saying, we can't say nothing bad about Charlie Kirk, they said, you can't nobody. So
people are losing jobs. So
I done lost. So they added 8 more shows. So I will book every week from here to December 31st. I done lost at least 10 shows. I don't give a damn.
These were too weirdly shaped or odd to make the cut in a regular pack of bacon, but bacon is...
Who gonna tell me what I can't? So listen, I remember one time as a kid, they used to have them light covers up there. And in them old cars, the light cover come off, you can see the light. And my mama seen me looking at it one time, and she was going to the grocery store. She said, boy, you better not touch that light. Soon as she got out the car, because she said it, I touched it. Finger burnt like a mother. She spanked me. She said, I told you, I seen you thinking about it. Fast forward till I got a little older. Her and her friend was going out one time. And her friend said, hey, I'm leaving my car keys in here. Y'all better not drive my car away. But she was joking. I wasn't even thinking about stealing her car till she said it. You can't tell me what I can't do. If you say, man, you can't do that, I'm gonna prove to you I can. So the fact that white people, white club owners, white club managers, when I go on stage and say black people need to be taken back to slavery, I can't wait till white folk put us in slavery. I made fun of George Floyd, Gilly the Kid, son, boo. Nigga, white folk love it like a mother. So I'm saying, well, maybe let's see if they can take it. They can't take it. They've always ditch hate out and cry if it come back. They always play victim when it come back. So nigga, just the fact that they said I can't do it, my agency mad at me. Even my mama said, son, I said, mama, let me read what I told my mama. I said, mama, the fact that they saying I can't say it, that's what's making me do it. So I thought of all the horrible things you can say about Charlie Kirk, and I went on a rant for days because who gonna take this freedom of speech away? And that's what Charlie Kirk spoke for. So the more I researched Charlie Kirk, the more I saw he was a white Charleston white. I'm not a black Charlie Kirk. He's a white Charleston white because he talking crazy to about nigga shit. But he's also promoting free speech. He's also saying there's no such thing as hate speech. So the shit that I'm saying, Charlie would clap for. Even though it's wrong, he has a right to it. So I'm saying white folks are pure hypocrites. Look at them. This is what Charlie stood for. The very exact thing that I'm doing, telling the masses of people, F you, we need shootings. This was good for Charlie because we get to keep our rights. Even Charlie said that. Charlie said we need these shootings to keep our rights. So what the f are they crying for? And I'm saying what I say all the time. Homie, we need police shootings, my nigga. Police shooting bring niggas together. We need, don't I say that? Yeah. So me and Charlie are one and the same. So why would white people come up against me? Because I'm black. I was their boy. I was their boy as long as I was singing their tune in their favor.
I'm not gonna lie, like over the past week, I gained more respect for you because I said, Charleston has no picks. He don't give a f. Like,
no, I'm not playing a character if I am. Listen to me. Didn't I tell y'all I was playing a character? If I have picks, then that means I've been lying. I'm not playing a character.
They fell in love with the Mackin, man.
If I'm telling you I'm playing a character online, and y'all believed it at first until I said something about Charlie. Now it's personal. So everybody I made it personal to said he's not playing a character. But long as I don't make it personal, oh man, he's playing, oh man, he's wild and funny. So if I decided to go along with everybody and not speak on Charlie in the way that I did, then I've been lying. I'm not playing a character. I'm really playing a character. Half the shit I said about Charlie, I don't even mean. I'm just now starting to learn more and more about Charlie. As a matter of fact, one of Charlie's good friends, Alex Stein, texted me, said, man, I'm at the funeral, and told me, man, Alex said, man, and Alex Stein is a good friend of mine. His dad, how many of these white Jewish people that got a love for niggas? His daddy was been a bail bomber for 50 years. No Pops, no Billy Ray Maddox, no the Douglases, the men, no everybody, Bobby Reed, no everybody. They out and gamble with the sheriff, and so that was my bail bondsman. Alex Stein, daddy, that's my bail bondsman every time I go to jail. I ain't gotta come with no money or nothing, nigga. The judge, so they started giving me no bonds because Alex Stein, daddy, was getting me out with no money. At first, I was using money to get out. They hit me with a $90,000. Alex Stein, daddy, started getting me out with no money. So they ain't like that. So that's why I started getting hit with the no bond. So these are my friends. Aiden Ross is my friend. So when I said that, homie, I hurt my friends. Just like I done said some shit about black people that hurt some friends. When I said some shit about Gilly's son, my mama, when I said something about Lil Ronnie's son, my mom and family. So it's no difference. But I'm saying, man, who care about what I say? Look at what humans do to one another. So I'm saying, look at all these white people want to hate. They want to hate. But they were so disappointed when they find out they can't hate their own, because they will not hate their own. They will not hate their own. So I had to have some empathy. Because niggas, some people I know is attached to them, and my words is affecting them. So Alex sent a message to Sane and Dewberry. Said, man, tell Charleston, man, you know, Charlie was a good guy, and he really loved black people. He said, man, so I trust what Alex say. Alex personally know him. So, but I don't mean I'm gonna stop. It's a character, and it's a method to the madness. I'm standing on free speech no matter what I'm saying. There's no hate in my heart. I don't mean it. Somebody his wife, man, I don't mean that. And then this what got me. I'm saying white people done turned hateful. This is an instance where black people, no white people ever show compassion. In a police shooting, black people are unforgiving, just like these white people. We won't forgive nobody. We saying off with the head. We want to punish white people. And it's all white people we want to punish because one white officer killed one black dude. So we do the same thing. That's what I mean. We are just like our slave masters. We have become them. We hate like them. We eat like them. We like red meat like them. We like to be in cool air in the air conditioner where it's cold and cool at. We don't like to be in the sun. We like them, homie. We run from the sun like them. We done start putting sunscreen on like them. We get the same diseases they get, and we've never gotten the same diseases as white people. The Indians were the only ones because we never ate like them. We have their same diets. We eat at their same restaurant. No, we go to their same doctors. So of course they're gonna diagnose us. Yeah, they don't know how to diagnose. That's why they study our bodies. They don't study their bodies. The oldest bones is an African woman named Lucy. Those study the DNA from a black woman, not a white woman. Nigga, they take our organs to put in their old white bodies. They don't put white young organs. So we've become them by nature. So we hate like them. So I'm saying white people done turned back to being hateful. Until Charlie Kirk's wife spoke yesterday at the funeral. Yeah, to hear the words, I forgive you, homie, some powerful words, because most people don't say them.
She forgives the shooter.
Yeah. My victim family forgave me. And I got to hear him say it, look me in my eyes and tell me that. So, yeah, that tugged on my heart. I said, yeah, nah. So, but I had already proven my point. So if you notice, I really don't even mention it no more. I wanted to use the verb when it was sensitive. That's when I attack. And I think I've proven my point. America is a hypocritical nation. Whites, blacks, this is not a Christian country. When you have the leader of the free world, of the presidents, just says that I'm not like Charlie, but they're honoring Charlie. President Trump, me up, homie. Your leader's supposed to always have compassion. They let me know Trump is a weak man. Thug, a weak man. Woody, a strong man. Only the strong can show compassion for the weak. Trump can't show no compassion. White people don't show no compassion because they're weak.
Tech degrees built on tradition, delivered in lightning speed. ECPI University.
It was like, all right, how do I get somewhere quick? And ECPI.
But Charlie and his wife were strong in spirit. She said, I forgive the shooter. So she didn't allow the seed and the roots of white racism and white hate to run parallel with her husband's voice. Because they say his voice will be heard in future generations. Well, along with his voice is a voice of hate. Our president, and I voted for him. He said, I hate my opponent. How can you hate another American when they've done nothing to you? It's just a difference of ideologies and political opinions. So for him to stand over a man who professed Christianity, professed his faith in Christ, welcome all ethnicities and people to the table to have a discussion. And what I found so remarkable about him, he never got upset or offended by anything. His mannerisms is something that I admire because I see that in Aiden Ross. I see that in a lot of other people. Homie, in order to be in a position where he is, you can't get angry. So you never saw a clip where he got angry. Because I'm passionate about some of the things I speak on. If you catch me out of character, I'm gonna get angry. I was angry at that school. HBC, maybe, I felt attacked, I felt ambushed, I was angry. But on camera, homie, I ain't bringing my emotions. So that's what I admired about him. But to have a president, homie, the world is watching, and they're saying this guy is a believer in Christ, and they're talking Christianity, only for the president, who maybe is an atheist, to reject everything that man stood for. And said, no, I'm not like Charlie. And then said this in front of his wife after she says, I forgive him. That was a spit in the face of his legacy. You don't profess hate over love and forgiveness. So he almost drowned out her forgiveness because there was somewhat of a cheer in the center of the arena. You didn't hear no other cheer around, but there was a section of cheer in a small section of that arena that you hear some people applaud to hate. And there's nothing that, and this is what I used to tell myself when I used to say, man, I hate you, Dad. I used to go in the shower and say, man, God, please don't let my heart be hard toward my own people. Because I know there's nothing that nothing good can do with a heart full of hate. Saying good, man, love and hate and good can't coexist in a heart with hate in it. So for our president to confess that, what comes out of a man's mouth is in his heart. And he pressed it, he was proudly saying it. So pride comes before destruction. So what I believe what we're seeing now is the destruction of white America, not America.
I don't think Charlie deserved to die, though.
I don't think nobody deserved to die.
Yeah.
I don't think nobody deserved to die. But some people who done kill people. Yeah, I believe in the death penalty. But Charlie ain't hurt nobody. Charlie ain't hurt nobody where he deserved a bullet. People who hurt people, that shoot people, they deserve bullets. People who fight people, they deserve knuckles. You reap what you sow. You live by the sword, but Charlie didn't live by bullets. But you also have to think, I don't believe, well, I don't want to get into the conspiracy shit. But when you look at what done happened since his death, with different things that have been signed into law and things like that, you almost think that he was sacrificed.
Yeah,
he was sacrificed. Yeah, he was sacrificed.
You feel like that
for the greater good of America.
You feel like that kid was in it on his own, or it was a team?
When you write, your tone influences how readers respond. With Grammarly, just highlight your text and type how you want to sound.
That was a team. Just like we saw him climbing down, somebody else saw him too. Who looking at the camera that saw him walk up there and climb down after the shot? How did that 71-year-old man know that was gonna happen, to jump up to say, hey, God damn it, I'm the one that did it? Only for them to find child porn in his phone. He know he got child porn in his phone, and he finna jump up at a shooting like this. Homie, if we can see it, it's not real. If they let us see it on television, it's a smoke screen. From the 9/11 planes flying in, homie, they didn't let us see when it hit the Pentagon. They let us see it running to the, they let us see George Floyd. They don't let you see the other ones. So no other police shooting, they give you details on like they gave you George Floyd. So homie, see, that's what made Charlie Kirk dangerous, because he wasn't talking his belief system. He had talking points for movement.
You and him had the same take on George Floyd as well.
Yeah.
He didn't really he didn't really have a lot of good things to say about George Floyd, like yourself.
Yeah. I ain't got nothing bad to say about him, other than he had misinformed talking points. He had screwed statistics that was shaped for rhetoric. But what make him dangerous, homie, is what they're doing to black people is no different than what Hitler did to the Jews in Germany. The media, laws, rhetoric, and propaganda. So between Hollywood entertainment, painting us as thugs, criminals, killers, rapists, abusive men. So that's one entity projecting us in a demeaning light. Then you got the news media. Every night you showing crime. Nigga, they got different terms for us. You haven't heard this little white kid be called a monster, be called a savage, the things that they say about us. Nigga, they soft with him. They're making excuses for him. He was a good kid till he got with the transsexual, started fucking the Democratic boy. So they blaming liberalism. Not a kid with an undeveloped brain who did not make a lifelong decision, because the human brain does not develop. And all the science, research and medical data proves that the human brain does not develop to at or around the age of 25 based on the prefrontal cortex of the brain for you to make a logical, rational decision and say, this is what I want to do. So that's not what he really wanted to do as a kid. So when you ask a kid, man, why you do that? And they say, I don't know. They really don't. It's impulse. It's impulse. So that's why that kid will not be sentenced to death, because our Supreme Court have already ruled you can't kill this baby. He don't have a developed brain.
How old was he?
He's 20, 21, 22.
Nah, he's gonna get the death penalty.
No,
you don't think so?
It's an undeveloped brain. It's not a lifelong choice and decision. The Supreme Court have already ruled you can't give these motherfuckers life without parole at this age. You can't give them life without parole. All the mitigating factors come into play with the death penalty. So let me say this, Dylan Roof killed 10 people. Why he didn't get the death penalty? He killed 10 people. Why he didn't get the death penalty? Homie, this is rhetoric and propaganda.
What was your thoughts on Jimmy Kimmel being canceled?
Nigga, I had been canceled, so fuck Jimmy. Give a fuck about Jimmy being canceled? Was it wrong? Yeah, it was wrong. But nigga, don't cry about it. It's worth losing. Nigga, when you got rights and you standing for your rights, whatever they take, nigga, it's worth losing. Nigga, nigga, your rights is worth dying for. If not, you ain't got them. So, nigga, I'm with don't tread on me. Yeah, I'm with don't tread on me. So I'm gonna say anything I want to say online, cause I got a freedom of speech, and I'm not hurting nobody. I'm not hurting nobody, homie, with my words. Maybe your feelings, but who have you hurt with your words that you live with in the household that you hadn't apologized for to be so affected by my words? So now, nigga, white people in America is full of shit, and this is Babylon.
Would you talk publicly in front of 4,000 people if you were paid to do that?
Yeah, I have before.
Would you do it now? I mean, at the peak of the Charleston white.
Yeah. I don't believe nobody will harm me.
Really?
Yeah, really. Don't you see how I live? I walk around this motherfucker carefree.
Yeah?
Yeah, nigga, I don't believe because I'm not targeting a marginalized group. I'm targeting us. That's why I don't say nothing to white people. That's why I don't say nothing to Mexicans. I don't say nothing. I used to fuck with them people, but I realized, nigga, they not our problem. They not our initial problem. We are our initial problem. Just like we're not their initial problem. We're not their initial problem. Israel is. Russia is. North Korea is. Venezuela is, Mexico is, but blacks, Americans, we're not nobody problem but black people problem. And we ain't gonna accept that as we the problem. We're not the problem. Yeah, opioids is. That's affecting white people. So yeah, nigga. So,
same thing with Lean. You know, when Justin Bieber, he's the reason why activists is no longer.
When
they didn't give a fuck until it.
When TMZ posted all of that, homie, there was no empathy for drug users until the opioid crisis. See, white boy had empathy under the law. He get caught with cocaine, he cool. The nigga get caught with crack, there's no empathy. The law put it in place that we're gonna do them like that and us like this. So that was put in law. So they looked and said, okay, this is what black people is getting caught with. Nigga, once they realized, nigga, Justin Bieber was they Aiden Ross, was they first Charlie Kirk. And the nigga snatched him and pulled him over here. So he wasn't, and they got him when he was a cute little lily white boy in his almost adolescence. So he was with the nigga culture from his adolescence to almost his mid-20s. We fucked the boy up. Partying with Diddy, with Usher them. So nigga, now he hanging with these rapping niggas. He taking trips through LA, car breaking down in Compton. They making him do push-ups and sing in Compton. Men and white people had to do something. Well, they said, man, he done got hooked on this new phenomenon that these black people have introduced. Not only did it get him, it got Aiden too. When I first met Aiden, man, who gets you on that shit? Them niggas didn't it? Man, this is why Dr. King didn't want niggas in their schools. Because they're gonna pick up the negative elements of our culture. And we go mistreat them in the process. Because we don't like nobody just like them. So, homie, when they went in this house, and everybody saw this on TMZ, nigga, he had soap. And back then, that's when the paint bottles was 150. You can get a paint for 150. Nigga, he had paint bottles everywhere. And TMZ blasted that. It was a drought on activists that summer.
Yep.
That summer. It's been money put into the opioid crisis because white people have always been able to maintain a opioid addiction. Their mothers, their fathers, nigga, Adderall, nigga, they dope fiend humans. They can maintain, get up and go to work. But when you start doing drugs with this culture don't get high and go to work. They get high and party and say, fuck work, I quit. White folk get high and still get up and go to work, get back responsible on Monday. This culture has no responsibility as dope fiends. White boy get high and go work on cars all goddamn day long. Nigga get high and go fuck. A fight. So, nigga, that was the first sign of white people needing to separate their children from the hip hop culture with Justin Bieber. Now look at it. Boy, fucked up. We don't know what's wrong with it. He won't say what's wrong with it. We don't know if they done fucked him. He won't say nothing. He just taking it in silence. I feel bad. And yeah, I feel bad for the boy. But whatever it is, he won't run back to these niggas. He don't have nothing to do with niggas. So you can't blame white folk. But nigga, we not the problem. We not the problem. Nigga, we still trying to survive as a race of people.
Do you believe the popular phrase, black people can't be racist? Is that true?
Yeah, black people can't be racist. We've never had power. If we were racist, we would do what I tried to do as a kid, commit all my crimes against.
So what do y'all think? What do y'all think so far? Because this interview, when I first saw it, I was just like, wow. Like, I just have so many emotions looking at this interview. And like I said, he might not be like the most proper, you get what I'm saying? Which is not me judging him, but I know some people gonna be like, language or whatever. I know there's some people on my page who kind of get a little sensitive with stuff like that. But the man is actually speaking facts. Like, some things he's saying is 100%. Right? 100%. Like, he's not lying. Like, when he was talking about, like, a lot of the time, other races, we're not really the problem. If you look at it from a broader perspective, we're not really the huge overall problem. You get what I'm saying? I agree with that. Right? Some of the talking points he said, comparing Dr. King with Charlie Kirk, I agree with that as well. Because when I was starting to see those comments, people comparing the two, I was like, what in the world? Like, Charlie Kirk, you cannot compare Charlie Kirk to a Dr. King, even in regards to like popularity and just influence. There is no comparison between Dr. King and Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, not saying that he was not influential or was not famous or popular, but to be honest with you, I'm gonna be 100% honest with y'all. I did not know who Charlie Kirk was until all of this stuff happened, until he was in the news. I had no idea who that man was, honestly. And Charlie Kirk, like I said, he was a right-wing podcaster, right? And he went to college campuses, right? Charlie Kirk and Dr. King, they're just not on the same level of influence, in my opinion. They're not. Like, they're just not. Everybody knew who Dr. King was. And Dr. King affected everybody. And Dr. King's main approach was peace. He was all about peaceful protest. He got his influence from Gandhi. A large amount of his influence came from Gandhi and how Gandhi protested. That was Dr. King, right? Yes, Charlie Kirk called himself a Christian. He was very religious. Dr. King was a preacher, right? But it's just not the same thing, and their approaches are not the same. Like, it's just two opposite aspects. And honestly, I wouldn't want to call Charlie Kirk anybody's MLK. Like, that's not a good comparison. Like, Dr. King had so much influence even today, just with how the world is, Dr. King had so much influence. Like, so much influence. So much. Right? Yes, they were both assassinated, but they're not the same. You cannot compare Charlie Kirk to Dr. King. You just can't, you just can't compare it. I don't care what anybody's political views is not the same influence. It's not the same thing. Even the issues that Charlie Kirk was talking about it doesn't even really compare to what Dr. King was talking about. Like, some people can disagree with me, but that's how I feel personally. Like I said, he was talking about, like, his language is very vulgar. Yes, he was talking about a lot of stuff, but if you just really like listen to his interview, really listen to what the man is saying, like the gems he's dropping, like, it's insane. But I'm gonna continue.
It's white people. I thought I was racist. Homie, my whole objective every day as growing up as a kid until we caught our murder case, because I'm listening to the older blacks like the white people listen to the older white. Nigga, if you see a white boy, it's like a lion and gazelle. Get him. If you friends with a white boy, fuck over him. Steal from him. Take advantage of him. Fuck his sister. Bully him. No, nigga, he got to show you he ain't a hoe. So, nigga, the whole objective was, when they look at us, you play on the nigga. Everybody play on us. We don't play on them. Nobody's taught us how to play on white people. They've been taught how to play on us. Nigga, we've never studied white people. They've studied us. They know us. They know what triggers us. They know what excites us. That's why we're their consumers. They're large. We don't study them. I've been studying Charlie Kirk. I've been studying niggas. Anything that I talk about, I study. Because I want to be efficient in what I'm saying, whether it's good or bad. So I study you, nigga. You catch my attention, I'm going to research you. Stay up all night looking up shit on your motherfucking ass.
Hold on, before you pay for yet another app to manage your team, let me introduce you to Connect Team, the one platform that replaces all of these. I'm talking.
Black people can't be racist, my nigga. We're super prejudiced, ethnocentric, but we're not racist. Racism has to do with a power structure. We don't make laws. We can't disenfranchise anybody. So no, we can't be racist. We can either be criminal or prejudiced, one of the two. And none of us.
So I had a person in my comment a while back, but I never answered it. They commented on my comment section on YouTube, and they were asking my opinion on race. So I wanted to talk about it with, I was about to say with Charlie, with Charleston White talking about, can Black people be racist? This is actually an argument a lot of people do. I think it's a good one. I think this is a good conversation to have, because actually, yes, Black people can be very prejudiced, right? Black people can discriminate 100%. Like, even with us discriminating against each other, there's colorism. I talk about it all the time, right? Colorism. Yes, Black people can be prejudiced. They can be discriminatory, right? But does Black people be racist? Does a Black person being racist, does it have the same sort of effect than a white person being racist? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It does not have the same effect. It doesn't have the same power, if that makes any sense. Because, like, historically, white people have always been more powerful, right? So it has more of effect when a white person is racist versus when a Black person is racist. When a Black person is racist, it really does not do that much, right? like I said, there's colorism. Black people can be hateful towards each other. I feel like that's more of an issue when it comes to Black people, more so than Black people being racist towards other groups. Because really, it's not a big deal when a Black person is racist towards another group, because really Black people don't have that same power. It doesn't really do anything, right? But Black people can be colorist towards themselves. They can hate each other. And that hurts our community because that keeps our community from evolving as a people, right? This is why I'm always talking about colorism. I feel like Black people are Black people's problem, right? Black people can be Black people's problem. This is why I feel like when we hold ourselves accountable and we talk about these things as Black people, and we talk about evolving as a Black people, getting education, right? Bettering ourselves, even with relationships, right? Even with relationships, right? It's the same thing, right? We need to have healthy relationships in our Black community, right? Healthy relationships. So that's how I feel. Black people being racist it doesn't affect white people to the same degree as white people being racist to Black people. Because historically, white people hold more power when it comes to government, when it comes to our society, when it comes to leadership. White people hold more power. So they have more effect over what happens with the collective in a lot of ways. Now, us as Black people, I always try and push, we need to build our own structures, right? We need to heal ourselves. We need to love ourselves. We need to love each other, right? We need to educate ourselves, right? Because we can build our own, right? Because in the past, when we built our own structures, our own communities, our own businesses, they got burnt down. It all got burnt down, right? I was just talking about this. But now we're in a society where we have more freedom. We're going to college, right? We're getting educated, right? We're moving out of low-income neighborhoods and low-income communities. Y'all, I was not raised in a low-income area. I was raised middle class because my parents, which, by the way, both of my parents were HBCU graduates, right? They were both HBCU graduates, Claflin University and Tuskegee University, right? My parents built their success and built a life for me so I could be educated and I can get better opportunities and I can go to college and I can be safe and I can be emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and physically healthy, right? And am able to have a more sound mind and not be raised in an environment where I'm distracted or I have to deal with these things. But that was because my parents worked their butt off. Because my parents got education, and my parents are baby boomers, by the way. I was raised by baby boomers. So I was not raised by young millennials. I was not raised by no Gen X. I was not raised by none of those. I was raised by baby boomers. Right? I think it was 1948 to 1965. That's the baby boomer generation, I think. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but my parents were alive, were children during the civil rights movement. My parents were children during the civil rights movement. When Dr. King was alive, my parents were children. And we have to understand all this stuff that's happening right now. People are acting like this stuff like happened a long time ago. No, this was not a long time ago. People are still alive, right? Who are witnessing the civil rights movement in the 60s. Those people are still alive. Right? This was not that long ago. So when people try to make it seem like racism was so long ago, like No, it's not. And it's still alive and well. It's still alive and well. People who have that mindset, they need to educate themselves, right? It's education, right? Now, I feel like what's more important to me is Black people wanting to build each other up. That's more important to me. And that's more of a priority and and colorism itself is more of a conversation that needs to be had more so than Black people being straight up racist because even if a Black person is racist, I mean, it's not going to affect a white person's opportunities. It's not going to affect a white person's what they experience in society. It's not going to affect a white person on a really grand general scale, if that makes any sense. Yeah, somebody's feelings might get hurt. And this is not me promoting racism because I'm not promoting racism. I don't think anybody should be racist. I don't think anybody should be prejudiced, right? I'm totally against all of that. But like historically, and when it comes to the actual impact, when a white person is racist, it's more of an impact on a Black person more so than the other way around, right? A white person is never going to experience not getting an opportunity in the workplace because they're white. That's never going to happen. A white person is never going to be racially profiled and possibly put in jail and in prison, have a higher chance of getting put in jail or prison just because they are white. That's not going to happen, right? We have to understand this. People, like, when it comes to these sensitive, people are just so sensitive. You get what I'm saying? Like, people can be sensitive. People can get their feelings hurt. And that's not really good either. I don't think anybody's feelings should be hurt. But when it comes about the overall well-being, right? Overall well-being, when it comes to opportunities in the workplace, when it comes to survival, when it comes to rights, when it comes to safety, overall safety, overall well-being, when a Black person is racist towards a white person, it's not going to be as bad. A white person doing that towards a Black person is going to affect them more, 100%, because that's what our world is built on: patriarchal, white supremacist beliefs, ideologies, and powers. Right? White person never going to experience those things. Right? If you have a Black person and a white person getting stopped by the police, the Black person is going to be more in danger than the white person. The police officer is most likely going to question the Black person more so than the white person. Right? And that's serious because people are getting thrown in jail for no reason. People have been unlawfully locked up, right? Racially profiled, right? In the workplace, a Black person has to work harder, has to be 10 times smarter to get a position simply because they are Black versus a white person. This is all statistics. And this is not just somebody trying to push a rhetoric, or this is statistics. This is statistics, right? Same thing with colorism. You got colorism statistics, right? A lighter skinned person is most likely to experience less microaggressions, least likely to go to jail, least likely to be questioned, right? They statistically get more opportunities, even if you're talking about other cultures other than Black. There is actually statistics, even in India, lighter skinned people are most likely to be in higher caste systems than darker skinned people and be wealthier because they're light skinned. This is actual statistics, right? So we need to understand, right? Yes, I believe racism is wrong. I don't believe anybody should judge anybody, but the impact's not the same. When a white person is racist towards a black person versus a black person is racist towards a white person, it's not the same impact, it's not the same thing. People have to understand that. You have to do your research on that, right? Does it still excuse it? No. It does not excuse any sort of hate, any sort of prejudice, right? Any sort of discrimination of any kind is wrong. Because at the end of the day, we need to love each other and we need to be treating each other kindly at the end of the day.
Us are waking up being racist criminals because they got a hate crime for it. So there you go.
I know you're gonna hate this next question, but we did an interview about 2 weeks ago, and one of the top comments were, "Where's Charleston's wife?" And it was a whole conversation about your business.
Yeah, I be seeing it in the comment section.
Yeah, that's like the number one thing. Your girlfriend was in the back, and it was a whole conversation about where's Charleston's wife? Where's the big pretty house? Where's the big morning breakfast? Your cult following, they want to know.
I've been on tour for a year, so how I'm gonna get the morning breakfast? Yeah, I've been on tour for a whole year. My question is, why they worried about who I'm fucking? Yeah. Why they worried about who I'm fucking?
I mean,
and what's so intriguing about it? Nigga just know Uncle is a Mac and a player. Yeah, and I get to do what your dad and them couldn't do, nigga. Nigga, when you reach this kind of level of status,
quality at unbeatable prices? Yes, chef.
Horse duvers?
It's an Aldi thing.
Booking.com has all kinds of stays.
Ooh la la!
Because a romantic hotel works for some.
In fame, nigga, you do what the fuck you want to do. Yeah, you do what you want to do. As long as you ain't intentionally trying to hurt nobody, fuck what you do, how it make people feel. You ain't trying to hurt nobody. You just doing you. So, I got all my women. Yeah, even the ones I ain't got, they still mine. Yeah, no, even the ones I ain't got still mine. You can't engage and interact with me and think you just get to know. Nigga, it's a certain element that I leave behind that you can't forget. So, where she at? In the comment section with y'all. Yeah, see, nigga, ain't nobody mad but the people watching. Yeah, ain't nobody mad.
So you see in the same comments I see?
I be laughing like a motherfucker.
You even addressed it though. You addressed it online.
Yeah, I said, nigga, why y'all worried about that? And I done addressed it with her right there. So I'm saying, nigga, if y'all seeing what I'm seeing, you think everybody ain't seeing what y'all seeing? I ain't hide nothing, nigga. A man don't hide what he do. That's what the little boy do because he's scared to get caught. Nigga, I'm a man's man. You can't do this if you compromised. The only man can't do what they think I'm doing is a man that's compromised, homie. He need his woman. I don't need my woman for nothing, nigga. God didn't give me the woman to need her. God made me to need him and made her to need me. So man wasn't created to need woman, nigga. Man was created so he need God, and woman was created because she need man, and man need a helper. So all successful men got more than one woman. They just got different names. Rather than Susie, Becky, this is a secretary, this is my bookkeeper. Then they get different names, but they all your women. This is my usher. She leads my usher board. That's be them nigga women, homie. They got an attraction and likeness for each other. That's why they got the job. So now, nigga, you got more than one woman. You just don't know that because you don't know who you are. And just because you got more than one woman don't mean you sleeping with all of them. Yeah. Nah, nigga, I know a nigga got a wife, a girl.
All right, y'all. So that's some of his interview. It's very long. Um, it's very long, y'all. But I just want to ask, how did y'all feel about this? Because again, some of his talking points, I definitely agree with it, and then there are some things he was saying that was kind of like, okay. But other than that, I think that's going to be the reaction for that video. I was also thinking about reacting to another video where it was a young black student debating Charlie Kirk, right? And again, I just want to say this, right? Education is key. We need to educate ourselves, because one thing I'm noticing in our society of today, there's a lot of rhetoric, there's a lot of narratives that people are trying to push, but there's not any sort of educational, intellectual, actual, informative, really actually true information. It's all rhetoric. And I feel we're doing a good job as a people of knowing when people are trying to throw narratives and rhetoric, right? One thing I love about Gen Z and this generation, we're good at discernment, right? We can read through people, right? We know when somebody's trying to manipulate, gaslight. When it comes to psychology, we're very educated. When it comes to social intelligence, we're so educated with that, right? So we know about narcissism, and we understand manipulation. We understand gaslighting, right? We understand when somebody is trying to push a false narrative about somebody. That was something that the older generations had an issue with that, right? The older generations had a really big issue when it came to psychology and understanding these type of human behaviors, right? And what's toxic, what's dysfunctional, and what's not. They were not good with that. Like my parents' generation, the baby boomers, they didn't know about narcissism. They don't understand what gaslighting was. They didn't understand that. They just were so used to having to fight. They really didn't have no time to understand when somebody is having a healthy standpoint versus when they don't, right? One thing about our generation, we're very smart, and we have the tools to educate ourselves. We have the tools to learn. Even if you don't learn it in school, even you don't read up about these things in school, you can educate yourself, because we have Google, right? We have many books that were written, right? We can get old footage, right? We can pull up old footage, right? And old documents and studies and all these things. We can pull up these things. So back in the day, back in the 60s and 50s and even the 70s, a lot of this stuff, people would just watch TV, people would just watch the news, read the newspapers, and they would just come up with a opinion that way, right? Yes, books were out there, but they really had to dig harder to find the gems and to find the nitty-gritty information, right? We can find information. We have so many sources to educate ourselves. It's about education, right? We educate ourselves, we see things from a different light, right? Instead of going with the ego, because I know there's going to be people who react to this from a place of ego. They're going to want to put up a wall, right? They're going to want to jump to conclusions, right? But you cannot react from a place of ego. And you have to do that inner work within yourself and be like, is my personal opinion getting in the way of this? You know, is my old traumas from childhood or maybe misconceptions or things I was taught that were not of the highest good, that were not actually not healthy? Am I allowing that to get in the way of how I see something, right? The truth will set you free, right? Truth is everything. And this is spiritual as well, right? And people are waking up and people are learning about themselves, they're learning about who they are, and you know, all the old stuff they were raised with, they realize it's not worth it anymore. They're tossing it to the side. People are even cutting off their parents and family members because of this. So many people have, you know, gotten out of contact with their family members because of the toxicity and the manipulation and the narcissism and the lies, and they just them realizing they were not raised in a healthy household, right? When it comes to racism, like I said, it's taught. It's taught, right? Because when you have children, when they play on the playground together, before it, you know, they were taught by their parents, before they pick up on these things that their parents believe, they don't care about race. It's not even a big deal. They will play together. Like I remember, and I'm trying to find this man, y'all. I remember when I was in first grade in kindergarten, I had this best friend of the name John Miller. He was my best friend. This was before I moved to my, you know, my elementary school that I went to from 2nd to 5th grade. Before I moved, I went to Irmo Elementary School, right? And then I moved to H.E. Corley. But when I was at Irmo, I had a best friend named John Miller. He was a white boy. And I'm still trying to find him. I'm like, I want to find him because he was my best friend. We did everything together. But I ended up moving, and I never got his phone number and all these things. And there was never a continuous contact. So I lost contact with him. But he was my best friend, and he was a cute little white boy. And I still want to like find him. I tried finding him, doing a search on him, seeing if I can find him, and I still haven't found him. But, you know, we used to play together and race was never a thing. He was my best friend. And I just remember that, like, when kids are young, they don't care about this stuff, right? It's only until we get older we care about this stuff, because it's dysfunction, right? And like I said, I'm always encouraging people to have these conversations, these uncomfortable conversations. Like, even with me reacting to this, me post this on my page, I'm like, this is out of my comfort zone, right? The way he's speaking is out of my comfort zone, but I wanted to share it because my spirit was like, you need to share it. There's truth in it. Yes, his language is a little vulgar at times, right? And he's kind of like, with some of the things, even with some of the things he believes, I don't agree with. Like, some of the things he said, I don't agree with. Some of the things that he was talking about that he did, I don't understand why he did those things. But still, I was able to filter those things out. I was able to see the truth in what he was saying, right? And he was telling the truth. That's the thing. The truth is not always going to be fun to hear. The truth is not going to even always be delivered in a way that you necessarily like, or might not sound like, you know, a college professor. It might not sound the most prettiest, the most proper, but it's still facts. It's still educational, right? And so I don't got to worry, because I'm not a teacher no more. I don't got to worry about, you know, any of this stuff, right? Me possibly, you know, something going wrong and a student seeing this or whatever. So I don't have to worry about that now. But yeah, like, when we're young, we don't care about these things, right? And this is something I care about. I care about the overall wellness of our country. I think I love our country, and I want to see our country grow. I want to see our country in peace, right? I want to see our country doing well. I want to see everybody doing well. I want everybody to win, right? Realistically, I want everybody to win. I don't want just one group of people to win, right? Yes, I want to see my Black people win 100%. I want Black people to win. I'm all for the evolution of Black people, and, you know, education, and for us to, you know, build within our race. But I also care about the wellness of other people, even outside of my race, right? Care about everybody. But we need to, for us to move forward, we have to talk about the things that are the most uncomfortable, right? We have to talk about the things that are the most uncomfortable. So, yeah, But that's all I'm going to talk about, y'all. Again, I want to point out, even with DEI, we're going to talk about that. People, I think one thing specifically I'm noticing with the right wing, they love to, when it focus on race aspect of DEI. They love to talk about the race aspect of DEI, but the thing they're failing to understand is DEI, when it comes to Black people, DEI is not really impacting Black people the most. DEI doesn't favor Black people. DEI actually really helps white women more than anybody else. They're the group that have been the most helped with DEI, right? So your gender simply helps you when it comes to DEI. If you're not a male, you're benefiting from DEI. Veterans, people in the military benefit from DEI, right? So anybody who served for their country benefits from DEI. Disabled people who are born with a disability, people who can't walk, right? DEI, right? DEI is not about race alone. And that was one thing I noticed about the right. The right believed that getting rid of DEI would only hurt Black people. And that's why they voted for it and why they were okay with taking away DEI, because they didn't feel that they would be affected by it, but a lot of them are being affected by it. A lot of the people who voted against DEI are being affected by it right now. Even simply older people, because ageism is a thing in the workplace. So being discriminated against because of your age, people treating you a certain way because of your age. So if you're an older person in a workplace and you're getting mistreated, or there possibly could be like a preference, we're going to hire people of this age. That's DEI as well. Age is in there. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is about embracing difference. It's not about race. Affirmative action is about race, right? Now, if you want to talk about affirmative action, that's a different conversation. But DEI in general does not talk mainly about race, and it does not mainly benefit Black people. People need to understand that 100%, right? It's much other things, right? I believe disabled people who have some sort of health issue that keeps them from being able to do certain things, I think they should be treated fairly. I think they should be able to have certain benefits. I believe our veterans, people who have served for this country, who fought for this country, I believe that they should have some sort of benefits. I believe women should have fair treatment. I believe Black people should be fairly treated and have the same sort of, the same sort of rights or the same sort of opportunity. It's not just about Black people. And that's the issue. This is why I feel like it's biting a lot of people in the butt, because people don't do their research. People are not educated. They're just listening to the rhetoric and the narratives and the talking points without actually knowing about what's truly going on. You're mentioning talking points, but missing out a lot of facts with talking points. Right? Missing out a lot of facts with talking points. So when people say DEI should be made illegal, so you're saying that not only people of other races, so that could be, which includes white people, because white women, Black, Hispanic, Asian, Latino, Indian, not only are you talking about them, you're also talking about women, We have a lot of MAGA women. Guess what? You are a DEI hire, hun. You are a DEI hire, hun, if you're a woman. Right? If you served in the military, veteran, DEI hire. DEI hire. Disabled. If you have any sort of health issue, right? Any mental health issue that, where you can get benefits or some sort of anything, DEI hire. Right? Religion. Right? Background. It don't matter. People always, when it comes to diversity, the first thing they love to jump to is Black people. That's the first, and it's ignorant. It's very ignorant because Black people, a lot of us still fighting for our lives. Even when DEI was in place, we were still fighting for our lives. Still was not having the same sort of equal opportunities, the same equal protection, even with all that being in place. We still fight for our lives. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that? Because it makes no sense that people don't know, people that actually know what they're talking about. That's the thing I've learned, right? There's something called being delusional in the law of assumption. When we convince ourselves of something we believe is fact, right? Because we've convinced that to ourselves for so long. What our beliefs are is our reality, right? Some people have convinced themselves that certain things are fact, even though there is talking points against it, even though there's facts, there's actual everything against it, proving that what they're believing is absolutely not true, but they still want to come up with this, right? Guess what? We had a lot of women in shambles. A lot of women in shambles because of the current administration. And these women were not Black. To be honest with you, you don't see Black women in shambles. Right? We've been used to this. That's the thing. We've been used to this. Before Trump got back into office, I experienced some situations that were awful. Where I had to deal with racism. And this was not my full-time job, by the way. This was part-time. Small jobs, I only worked on the weekend. I experienced racism. And I was working in the school district. I had more education. I'd finished my college. I done finished everything. I've got my bachelor's degree. Done got everything. And there was people at my part-time workplaces who are much younger than me, by the way, early 20s, even though, and I like to say early 20s be babies, trying to talk to me like I'm 3 years old, trying to make it seem like even though I'm older than them and I have my degree and I work with kids, trying to make it seem like I was less qualified than they were. I was less intelligent than they were, talking to me like I was a slave, even though I am way more qualified than everybody in this whole room. I probably could have been the manager, to be honest. I was probably more than qualified to be a manager. More than qualified. But it was my part-time. I only worked on the weekend. So it wasn't really a big deal. It wasn't a loss leaving the job. It really didn't hurt me. If anything, it made me stronger, made me better, and realize my worth. I'm like, I really don't need to entertain these type of jobs anymore. I'm so much more than that. Especially living in the South, right? I've been exposed to this. Living in the South, I've experienced colorism, racism all my life. No DEI made anything easier for me. So we need to just understand this. I don't want to hear anything about race in DEI because that's not the only thing that people are talking about with DEI. DEI is not about race. Affirmative action is more connected to race than it is DEI. Right? but people are not ready for that conversation. So when you roll up on a college campus talking about DEI should be banned, you're saying that veterans shouldn't get any benefits or any sort of opportunities. You're saying that disabled people, you're saying that people based on gender shouldn't, right? You're talking about this, and I know there's probably a lot of Republicans who are veterans. I know there's a lot of Republicans who are veterans. A lot of them. So yeah, those veteran benefits y'all get, DEI take away those things. They will take away those things 100%. If you want DEI to get banned, to be illegal, bye-bye veteran benefits. Right? And y'all always talk about back the blue. But I guess we can't back our veterans or people who serve for our country. Can't back that. Because how dare we give people of other races chances? How dare we even allow them to have more opportunities or benefits just because they're a different race than us? Y'all hate Black people and people of color so much that y'all vote against your own selves because you believe that something would just affect them. And then a lot of people call themselves Christian. And last time I looked with Christianity, right? Always love thy neighbor. Y'all talk about being Christian, but you don't want to give anybody else benefits. You don't want to give people chances. You don't want to give people opportunities, right? You want people to just be like, oh, they just got to deal with it. Y'all lack accountability, lack empathy, but you're a Christian. I don't think so. I'm going to just end it at that. Other than that, that is my video, y'all. Girl, I'm tired. I got to work tomorrow. It is about to be 12 a.m., y'all. But I'm about to end it, y'all. Again, I hope y'all enjoyed this live stream. Definitely support your girl. I did experience a few races on my page today, but I clocked it. So, yep. But other than that, yes, I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. I'll be going live in the morning. And I'll be, talking about our normal news like normal, but I just really wanted to show this interview because I thought it was so interesting. And I thought it was something that would open a lot of people's eyes or just like help people think. But yes, other than that, again, y'all can follow me on my, my TikTok, on, Facebook, YouTube, all my socials for sure. I always appreciate the engagement. I always appreciate people who want to help me grow. So, yes, but other than that, I wish y'all a wonderful rest of your night, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye.